actually. Hey, good evening, good morning, and I think good afternoon to you guys out there. Welcome to another live stream. My name is Fani Reinders, and tonight we are going to be doing a bit of live coding. Again, like we do every week on this show. Normally we do like .NET coding, like C#, but who knows? We might dig into other kind of things. So last time, it was an unplanned session. I've live coded with my baby girl, which was a bit quite fun. I must say, had some nice live viewers, and having the ambience, doing it is also very fun. So I was thinking tonight we will continue with my voice trigger app. And for that, you need to stay tuned before the show starts. So looks like the music already started. Hello guys, hello again, my name is Fani Reinders. If you just joined me or joined us, this is the community, welcome. This is my live coding show on Twitch. I'm live on Twitch now, obviously because you guys are watching me. I'm also live on YouTube if you do not prefer Twitch, or also Twilio, not Twilio, what's it called? Periscope, that's Twitter's little live streaming thing. It's called Periscope, so most probably you can also view me on there. That's periscope.tv/Fani Reinders. So welcome. Let me see. Nothing Else Matters, MJTAU and Brett IT. Thank you very much for the follow, and especially Nothing Else Matters for that tier 1 subscription. That's my very first subscription. Very proud of that. That's awesome stuff. So how are you guys doing? I see there are some activity in the chat room. Well, not really in the chat room, but in the views. That's cool. If you have any questions during my session, just other side. Feel free to pop into the chat and ask questions, and let's see how it goes. So I'm gonna actually share my screen. Now that anyone is actually asking anything, I will get a notification. Let me see. Should we change the music? I think we should start off with a nice chill. Let's see. Let's look for. Before we continue, I want to give a good shout out to Source Code for gifting me a subscription, a 1-year subscription to. Come on. This thing doesn't move. So Source Code has been so kind enough to give me 1-year subscription to Pretzel, which is a free music service that you can use to in your live streams, but then you have to do like chat attributions. So if you look at my previous videos, you will see each time the bot posts something on the chat. Now that's not really my aim because it's kind of noise, but now with the paid subscription, thanks to source code, it's now possible just to play nice music without the disturbance of a bot. I cannot move this thing now. This is quite annoying. There we go. So let's see. We are looking for ambient sound. Maybe that's a bit sleepy. Let's see. What else is there? Of course, you guys cannot see this. Let's move it here. Happy? No. Hip hop? No. Ambient is not really chill. Let's go for chill. That should be fine. Alright, so, okay, I haven't switched my screen yet, so let's actually switch my screen. This is the coding screen I was talking about earlier. So I've got Visual Studio open. For the folks that do not know, there's a frog in my throat. Not that, but for the couple of weeks I've been working on a little tool that when it runs, and when I say stuff like JavaScript, nothing happens, which is quite annoying. Hold on. It's turned off, I think. So when I say something like JavaScript, you get like GIFs like that. There. And also there is a config here. Oh yeah, when I say Apple, this little guy walks onto the screen. So hands in the air, it's completely automatic. And what I'm doing is this uses Microsoft Cognitive Services behind the scenes, and it's completely driven by configuration. So the idea is that you run this console application during your stream, and with this configuration, giving a certain sound or GIF, yes, I say GIF, not GIF, you can play these things as overlays on your OBS or whatever broadcasting system you are using. Now currently I'm using Cognitive Services, but as you might know, it's cloud run. It is kind of free for X amount of time or executions, but at some point it's going to cost you money. And also because of the latency, you don't really want it to go to the cloud and back. So I'm working on a kind of local version to allow folks to utilize local text-to-speech. It's not as clear or clever, but it does the job, and I think it's sort of forces me to also investigate or challenge myself to do more things, to actually see how we can implement this in a very clever way. Now, this Windows, this local thing I was talking about that parses the text-to-speech locally is Windows specific at this moment, because I'm using the Windows libraries for that. So maybe later on we can dive in deeper on a Linux machine to, if you really want to make this cross-plat. Obviously, because this is all .NET Core, it's totally possible. So let's quickly jump into the code to see how that is done. So the current version we're running now, it's using Cognitive Services. And as you can see, everything I say is basically recognized by the cloud. So it's going to the cloud and back. as you can see in the log here. And whenever I say, hands in the air, whenever I say JavaScript or Apple, these things happen. So it's kind of working. So how that works, I'm only utilizing the cloud to get my voice recognized, to get the text back that you see on the screen right there. And then what I just do is I just parse that text and then look for the keywords that you see in the trigger. So whenever I say these keywords, these media is played on the screen, which is quite cool, I would say. So I've been playing around with. Let me see. This is a test. Other window. So I've been playing around now to make this generic. So what do I have here? So I have a bunch of things. You guys can follow along in the code if you want to. github.com/FaniRenders. And I think it's voice trigger. I'll put that in the chat. There we go. So if you want to follow along, please do so. There's only one branch. You cannot get this wrong. So it all happened on this background server. So let's maybe go back to the code to see what it was, because we've done some refactoring on this thing. So this thing has a background service called the Trigger Recognizer background service. And because all this is just an ASP.NET Core application that starts up. It's got a front end and it's got a back end. The front end is, there are no views really. There's only one view. It uses SignalR to get messages from the server, and it just displays either a GIF or a media file to play it. But all the instructions are pushed from the server using SignalR. So that's the front end part of things. What's the magic is, because this is all local, I'm not really calling out to a real server, I'm calling out to localhost. So it's on my own machine, right? So what's happening is, when you start up, this thing also starts up a background service. And all that this background service is doing, if you check the code out, it's literally reading my configuration, and it's creating something called a speech recognizer using that configuration. Now, a speech recognizer is I think it's that's a Microsoft Cognitive Services thing. So this blue highlight creates that Cognitive Services thing. So when my background service starts up, I wire up the recognizing event, and then I just call a dispatcher. Now, dispatcher, the trigger dispatcher that you see here is something I wrote myself. It implements trigger dispatcher. I'll get to that in a second. And then whatever it recognizes, I just log this as information on the screen. And then I just start my service. And now while it's running, it's like while true, I signal to Cognitive Services to start continuous recognition. So it should continue listening for audio from the mic. I have no idea how to change the mic, so it just miraculously chooses this mic, the default, I suppose. And then when it finds something, it will fire off this function, which we'll call the dispatcher, and which will basically log these things on the screen that you see here. So in essence, that's how it works. Now, if we go back to the dispatcher, the dispatcher has one method called dispatch, and that just pumps out the text. So you give a text and that's it. So it's a kind of a fire and forget mechanism. And it is trigger dispatcher. So what this thing does, it gets options and stuff, but it also gets a SignalR hub context injected. So that's all Signal R kind of goodness. So from here, when it gets dispatched, I kind of check all the things like is it contained in the configuration, does it match up to the given configuration that you specified. And if it does, we can probably clean this up a bit, but if it does, I tell the hub context to send to all the connected clients a message to invoke trigger received on their end. So it's a little JavaScript function. You see that happens. So it's a little function that will then invoke on the client side. Did I say JavaScript a lot? Or I think we should replace this with a few other things. So you get the gist of this. So let's just maybe close this down. Come on. I think there's a... Oh, there we go. So that's it. So basically, background service that's running, continuously listening to your voice, you know, also connecting out to the cloud, getting the text back, verifying the text, matching it against the configuration you provided. If it matches some of the keywords, it signals a message to the Signal R hub, which will push an event through to the clients that will then display the right information. You might be wondering what is on the actual page. Now, it turns out this is a Razor page, and we have one CS HTML file, very clean, that has basically rendering server side, because it doesn't really matter, images and audio. All the options that you specify for each item in the configuration, it specifies its own element. We could probably also clean this up a bit, I would say. But then when you go to the actual JavaScript, okay, it won't come up now because it's disabled. I wire up, so on connection on trigger received. Remember, trigger received is that function I invoked from the server. It's a trigger received function that you map here to a JavaScript function. So when you get a trigger, you basically show that element. That is it. And that's how the magic works. So the whole thing is already built. It kind of works. I tried to containerize this guy a few episodes back. But the problem being is that containerization is hard. And also you need to kind of go through all the layers of the OS, because you're not dealing with your mic on your machine, you're dealing with the mic in the container. So you have to install a mic first, etc, etc. It's like for me it was like super complicated. So I just decided, well, make it this runs now currently as a .NET Global tool, so we can go .NET Global tool install, or .NET tool install voice trigger, and it's available by just executing voice trigger as a CLI command, which is kind of handy dandy. Okay, so now going back to my actual thing I wanted to do tonight is taking this stuff that we've built, on the background service. So taking this speech recognizer, which is a cognitive services thing, abstract it out and make it a generic thing. And I've done that in the previous episode, and I've started doing that, and I called it a speech recognizer provider. So in here it has three stuff. It has an event. It's an speech recognizer provider type of T being the event delegate. Am I saying it correctly? So it's an event that has a handler type of T. So that you specify will be the kind of delegate that will execute when it's busy recognizing stuff. And then a command that says to start recognizing, and a command that says stop recognizing. So very basic. So we've got this thing running here. So the idea is to inject this, and this speech recognition event args currently is a Microsoft Cognitive Services thing. But I was thinking maybe doing it differently, because I don't want Cognitive Services to show up in my background service. It needs to be a wired up thing. But given that I've already done it like that, so by calling this startup, I'm adding this as a singleton, and I'm saying, well, when I use that with that event args, I must call that I must use this this implementation class, which is basically just a relay. Let's see if this works. So this technically should now use still Cognitive Services when I run it. Okay. So everything is working. And okay, it's opening up the browser because that's how it's configured to do. So obviously you won't see the browser when a thing runs, because on OBS or any other application that you might be using, you will have a browser control as one of your overlays, and you will point to your address. In this case, it's localhost 5001. And then what will happen when I say the trigger word like hello? Was it Apple? Yeah, it was Apple. This happens. So it happens twice, because one is happening on my stream in real life, and one is happening actually on the browser. And did you notice when I say Apple, the green screen, right? So on OBS, that's another thing you have to remember. So on OBS, you can set a chroma key to make it invisible. So that's how you get the border around it away. So we kind of know the implementation is working, but like I said, I don't like the whole speech recognition event args thingy. So I was thinking, well, we kind of can do our own args thingy. Ain't that possible? I think so. So taking a look at this, it has a result, and it has a toString. I don't think offset is important. Let me see. So we've got that. So why can't we just do a result? Why is it important to have this? Ooh, can you hear that? That's the weather. No, you cannot hear that. I was actually thinking, why do I have this? Why do you wrap it around? We might as well have a take that out. Oops. And we have a generic speech recognition result in there. So we say, can we do that? Ooh, that's Cognitive Services specific. let's just keep it like that. So we call it generic speech recognition result. Okay, so what we can do is do that, but the whole thing will break because this event handler is not right. So let's quickly fix it. Oh, I see. Does it need to end out an event args? No, really? Oh no, I'm wrong. In any case, let's just keep it on that, and we do that like, because this is the provider code now. Let's actually do that. Let's control dot and move that to a separate file. So this is the cognitive services provider. And whenever we hit this event, when we add it and when we remove it, we would be able to, let's just quickly think. The value is what? So what we can do is we can go tab, speech recognizer recognizing. Why is that? Oh, that's not implemented. Fine. Do it like that. So I'm going to be wiring up this this event thing, speech recognition event args. But how? I actually honestly hit a blank now. SDN Cast, thank you very much for the host, and thank you so much for the view. I just see you joined me. Welcome, folks. Hopefully your stream was okay. I am busy building Voice Trigger, but I'm building it generically so that we can make use of the local tools or the local library on your machine instead of going out to the cloud to be able to translate our voices to text. And what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to sort of mix the worlds between the cognitive services world and put a generic wall in between. Hello SDN Cast, thank you for joining. So when that happens, probably need to have some kind of value here. Yeah. Let's see, generics. Maybe I'll try something else. Maybe let's do like an action or something. Let's try that first. So prop, it's an action. Now, what is an action? An action is something you execute without expecting a result back. Because a func is something you expect a result back, right? So, but we want to execute something and pass the parameter, and this parameter is a generic speech recognition result, and we'll replace that with recognizing, like that. Okay, so pretty much the same concept. When it gets set, we want to wire up a few things. I think we want to wire up this thing. And I think what we can do is we can say speech recognizer dot recognizing dot clear. Does it have a okay, that can also work. How do you set an event handler? Initialize an event handler. Because obviously when we do 2 pluses, it will do duplicate, right? So we'll use just 1 equals. Or should we say as new event handler? Yeah, we can do that. Well, recognizing signals that intermediate recognizes as well received. The event can only appear on the left hand side of a plus equals or a let me see. Okay. We'll just keep it like that for now. Let's hide this guy. Should we have a action? That's also another thing. Maybe this doesn't make sense. Maybe we should have just have an event. I believe this is the answer. Just a normal event. But what we do have is a private generic speech recognition result. We'll just call it that. And whenever that gets set, we say generic speech recognition result is the value that I get in. Dot invoke. I have no idea. How does this work? I have no idea. So speech recognition result is there. How do I go from getting the event how can I get it in here? Because this is an implementation of cognitive services. I somehow need to wrap it up in a way. Let's see. So if I say value, target, gets the class instance on which the current delegate invokes the instance method. Okay. If I say invoke, I can say this, and what is my generic result? I'm thinking how to... So I'm a bit stuck between the generic world and the cognitive services world. Any help would be appreciated. So speech recognizer dot recognizing, whenever that happens, I want something to be done. So I'm just kind of reasoning it for myself. So that something is a specific thing that happens. Maybe we should just, instead of having a function, we just, maybe do that. Instead of having it a handler, call it initialize. So have a task, and then we say initialize. Because in there we can wire up all the specific things. We don't have to use T anymore. So that's initialize. So let's do that. Take this off. Yeah, technically we just need this. We don't need the other one. So initialization, but what we do need is we need some logic that needs to happen when you initialize. That's the parameter. Going back to the code, you need to get that result text, because this was the initial code. So you kind of need to do this, right? So, and I don't have the trigger dispatch yet. Do I have that? e.result.text. Of course I don't, because I don't have it in here. So this whole thing, now this is this. Can I say action? Maybe I must say type of T. And this is a T. I don't know anymore. I'm trying to do a lot of things that doesn't make sense here. We could do action T sender and T result in here. Something like that. And maybe have it bleed out like that. Well, normally that's just an object. We can just do that. We can do that. Let's just make it T. But if we say that but what is the actual thing we're trying to do? Because we're trying to give a provider and give it a delegate to execute. So we say this dot speech recognizer dot recognized. Can I say action? That won't work, because it's not the same thing. Can most probably cast it to the same thing. The thing is, will this work? I can even go do that. Okay. Let's try something else. Event handler, type of T. Event. What is happening with my code? There we go. Okay, so that should work. Okay, so this, if I cast this to event handler of, what's it? Speech recognition, hopefully this works. Speech recognition event arcs, I think. So let's do that. That won't go away though. Cannot convert type that to that. Oh my soul, what can it be? Public close, session, event arcs. Hey, this is a runtime thing, so this needs to be event arcs. So where T is event arcs, I think. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Wait a second, this is the code that needs to execute. Hi folks, if you just joined me, welcome. My name is Fani Reyners. I am actually busy struggling figuring out basic event handling. So if you feel like helping, ping me. I'm trying to wrap my head around this eventing thing. How would we do that? I'm actually just reluctant to say initialize an action because, strongly speaking, it is just an action. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Let's see. So take this off, and then whatever happens in here, we just call the action. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We just call the action. task.completed task. Okay. Hopefully this will work. I have no idea. So we pass in an action. And then we say, does everything compile? Nope. Okay, fine. So we have that provider that we use. And then we say start with, we're gonna say to the speech recognition provider that we have here, dot initialize, and then pass in, we need that e.result text. So we cannot say that. So I was thinking of doing something like that, you know, but we would need to have e.text. So let's build it in. Let's give e.result.text. It's this one, right? So here we say it is the generic, or you can make a type of T. That's also maybe not a bad idea. Okay. I must say, delegates and events and all that kind of things in C#, that is not my strong point. Can you believe it? So initialize type of D, we're back at the same problem. Maybe we should just make it a func. Then I have func. playing around with a few things. We need to be able to get the parameters. How to get the parameters of a from action. Is that it? Expression. Should it be an expression? Let's go back and see what we've missed. Expression. Okay, so that's a predicate or something. Something ridiculous. Okay, so that's an expression. So what do we have here now? Dot. So we now have a few things. Parameters. Dot. I think that the first one or something. Okay, so how do we get this now? Resolve method action and out args. Cool. Proto client extensions. Can this be a thing? Oh no. Resolve method type of T. Is it this? It says action, not method. No, it can't be. So where's this? If we say parameter expression, this makes me crazy. Just taking this off for now. Get invocation list. That's parameter info though, so I need to get that's not the right way. Let's try delegate. What's this? It's the same as the action, right? This dot, what is it? A speech recognizer. This won't work. Why would this not work? Because I'm trying to convert casts and stuff, because I don't think this will work though. Can this actually be casted? So it's event handler, type of cognitive services, speech recognition. Cannot implicitly convert things. Method, get parameters. Same problem. No. Okay, let's see if we can find something else. I'm sure I'm phrasing it wrong, because get parameter value let's see, so we need to be able to get that type in somehow. Suppose we can't say initialize type of T and have that delegate be the event handler. So what is this? This is an event handler. This is which is a delegate. where T is a delegate. Can that work? And can we say that we say handler here? Maybe we can cast it to the right one, so it's event handler. Maybe event handler top of T. That's maybe a good idea. I've tried that before, that does not work. Maybe that works. But why does it work? This won't work. Okay, so when we say initialize, can we say sender and text? Yeah. This shouldn't bother. What are we trying to do? This is a handler. Yes, we need to cast that whole thing as that. That can work. So if we say here this is specific to cognitive services, but yet again, now we're getting specific again. I want that to be able to work. And it kind of does, but not really. So frustrating at some points. So this is the event handler. I've done this before and I don't know why I'm not like getting back the proper stuff. Method. Reflection. Property info. pi.getValue. Yeah, that's what I have. Okay, so let's do this. Back again. At initialize, we pass in a action type of generic speech recognition result. Then we say here, this is the prop info, and this is the handler.method.get properties parameters. There will be the first one, and we can say prop info dot get value, which is not in here. Oh, am I missing something? pi dot get value. This is property, what is this? Parameter info. Ooh, this is property info. You can hack your way around this by creating anonymous type inside your method and then take advantage of projection initializers. That's an idea. But what's the right way of doing this? Because you see what they're doing is they're creating a new object, which is, let's call this proxy, and basically creating a property there and assigning it to, oops, I'm not sure this is the right way of doing things. Declaring a delegate. Which language is better, C# or C++? Now, how do I say this? Mr. Emil50, or is it Remil50? Welcome, first of all. Thank you for joining. That all depends on personal choice. So I like C#. I used to code in C++, but that's a bit more down to the middle for me. But if you prefer, it's still a C language, right? So C++ and C# are in the same family of languages. So if it boils down to which is better, I think the right answer here is it depends. Hopefully I can answer your question. Thank you very much for that question. Thank you so much for the follow. MR, how do I say this? Remel50. That's cool. Thank you. Thank you very much for the follow. They should actually have phonetics for Twitch. I'm gonna see if I can Google something. So now the thing is, how do I get the parameter? Because just close all the other tabs. Okay, so now I want to do this. There's no managed API for doing that. I think we've done it natively, profile API. No, you can't. Reflection doesn't help you get information. Come on, really? There must be a way. There must be a way of doing this. It's a simple thing that we need to do. A simple thing. So for the folks that has joined us, what I'm trying to do is this recognizing event handler that we have here. It is taking it in event arcs. And I don't want, I must somehow have it take in T. Now it used to work when I go do this. And have T there. And when I say where T is event arcs. Wait a minute, why does this not? No, that does not belong. Maybe if we pass in this whole thing as a... Yeah, I think that's maybe what we want. Oh, no. What we've done is this. Yeah, we pass in that. So handler. Did we pass it in? I'm confused now. What worked and what did not work? Now I'm just undoing things. Till I get what I want, I think. Okay, so at some point, so type of T and event and type of T. Okay, great. So what will happen if I do this? Just out of curiosity. If I F12 to this one, did I say nothing? I don't want to pass in T. I don't want to pass in T. I want it to just work. So let's go back to the drawing board to see what we're trying to do here. We're trying to wire up the initialize function. Maybe we shouldn't think too much about the result. Because I want to, at the end of the day, what I want to do, I want to say, hey, speech recognizer, I want to do that. Okay, so obviously this won't work because it's not working. So I want to be passing in a func or expression. Maybe that's my word I need to use. I want to pass in an expression that works. No, it cannot be. I want to do that. Then I want to be able to say handler dot, there's the body, parameters, I can't do that. Is by ref, no type, can reduce and check, reduce extensions. I basically have the names and types of the parameters. compile. Which would give me the method. Back at where I was. I have no idea. I'm going in circles. Because effectively that's what I want. I want to be able to say, this is the function without the t. Or do I? I mean, can I just go event handler object? And that's not even a thing. So we know it's event args. We can cast it to the right type. So can we say new event handler? Wrap the thing into a sender. Maybe that won't work. So let's maybe do that here. Let's do a little function. I think it's a void, right? So we can say object sender, and then speech recognition args result with args. basically this, right? Oh, I need a name. Delegate. Okay. Can I do this? Can I say del? Of course, it's inline. Why didn't I do that in the beginning? Yes, that's what I want. That's what I want. So yeah, I can basically say can I? So if we say action, let's try this one more time. Generic speech recognition results. Okay. We could say call the action here. And then pass in the args as I think I'm almost there. I just have to figure out how this can work, because I want to be able to do this, initialize, wire up this event. Whenever this happens, execute this. So can I say object maybe? That will work. Let's go back to the thing how I had it in initially. So we had this. So we need to find a way of getting the text, provided text out. That's why we have this. This is definitely what we need. because nothing stops us from doing this. Right? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just messing around now. Okay, so we have that. Let's think about it now. Whenever I call initialize, let's go back to the interface. Right. Yeah. Whenever I call interface initialize here, I can expect to get a result action in, so the text will be that. So whatever the result was, I can pass in. I can say this is the result, like that. I can even async that. Okay. What's this? Dot text. Alright, so this might work. Hi friends, my name is Fani Renders. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining. If you just joined me, I'm battling with C# events and functions and functions, etc. just to see how it works. What I'll be doing is I've got a specific function that I want to be calling, but I'm making it generic so that we can control it from the other end of the fence. So this is initialize. Okay, that needs that. So hopefully this will work. Should we try it? Okay, so we need to say, you know what, take that out, and that should work fine. And we need speech recognizer. Of course, this is speech recognizer provider. There we go, that will work. I don't think this will work though. Hey, look. Oh my soul. It's working. I'm gonna give a Capigen there for myself. That's amazing. Oh my soul. Oh my soul. So let's see, JavaScript. Yes, that works. That works. Amazing. So now we kind of have it. Yeah, it's still a bit wonky. Okay, so let's see what we have here. We have a cognitive services provider class. This we can get rid of. This result we can get rid of. And it has a recognizer, so it's all cognitive service specific things. Start recognizer, we're wiring that up. Initialize. Then given that we have the result, we just make our little delegate, so delegate. I suppose we can do that in line as well, eh? So like we have here, maybe just do it like that. And have this guy call into that. And E is E like that. Right. And that's also a way of doing it. And then running it to see if it actually works. Hello. This works. This totally works. Right. Great. Save. Okay. Great, great, great. Okay. This is this one. Now let's see how far we can go by taking this provider, sticking in a, what do you call this, a Windows only one, which is the speech, the system speech recognition. So let's say systems, or let's call it, yeah, system speech recognition provider. So first things first, let's move that into a different class. Okay, with that, I'm gonna take rid of all the cognitive services things. And how does this work again? We have our recognizer engine, which is pretty much that. Which is that. So control dot, do I have it? Yeah. Oh. What? Is that the same thing? No, it's not the same thing. So I need to kind of install this from the GAC. System.speech. I think I will get into trouble with this because what do I have here? I have still.NET Core 3. Okay, so I reference system dots. Okay, so let's be naughty. Let's add a reference to and that's the thing now. System.speech. There should be a NuGet package for this. So we found this library, which is not working. Fine. Deep speech. So I can most probably reference the GAC, but I think that's not really what we want. Let's go for offline speech recognition. C#.net core. Let's see what this is. Okay, right. I'm looking for a Pick Voice Pro, wake words, and what's this? Okay, but it's most probably not for free. That's Google, Dialogflow, Watson, cloud-based. I don't want the cloud-based one. I want a local one. I want a local one. Let's see what I say here. Okay, this is grammar. Okay, so this is one that's very old still, but probably can work. Speech recognition. It needs Windows Universal Platform. Hey, maybe it just will work. So technically when we use this one, dependencies, where can I say it? No dependencies. What will happen? Just curious, what will happen if we just take this library and look for it and install it? So it's obviously there. Okay. It did not work though. It's not compatible. It's not what I want. This is still using cognitive services. Can you believe it? I cannot believe it. So this is the Windows WP. Yeah, I think we need to either... I need to either rethink this whole thing. Interesting. So now... So this is now... Okay. Okay, this executes... It's interesting. So this executes a PowerShell command and it speaks. You cannot call .NET Framework from .NET Core. This is what we know. What interesting is this guy, he creates a function and executes a PowerShell command. Very interesting. So this thing creates that command. It's very interesting. So I need the other way around, but it's cool that now you can do it in PowerShell. That's an interesting take on things. Text to speech. I want speech to text. So what we can do is we can create a full framework proxy thingy program that can run kind of defies this whole purpose, right? So the idea that I have is this .NET Core thing for the local machine needs to be dependent on a process, which can be a full framework application. So instead of cognitive services connection string, you give a process like a path of another tool, which is the full framework one. Then it can be literally anything like this one, for instance. But what will happen if I just reference this? So I need to make a kind of a wrapper around this thing, because when this runs, we can make use of the file system for this. So when you say something and it didn't, yeah. So let's see if we run this. And I think when I speak, like an American. So every time a sentence is finished, it can write to file. And then each time it writes to file, it must trigger a file watcher that I have, that I can do. Will this still work? Because it only works 5 times, it looks like it. But this is what I was thinking. Use something like this as a tool. But how do you ship it again? That's another thing. How do you ship something like this? That's annoying. Well, you could make it a Docker image. Make it a service. You could do that. Okay, system speech there. So this is what we have. So could we say that it'll open if I do this? System Windows CAC. This is obviously different. So just bear with me. I think what I can do is do a little trick. Don't know if I'm allowed to, but fine. Refs. Okay, so that's that. So let's try this. So when we say add reference, we browse to that specific reference. Which will give you that. Okay. Which will give you that. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Okay, let's see. Do we have a new grammar? We need to load the grammar. Do that. Okay, we need to do all these things here. This thing also goes in there. So when speech is recognized, detected, hypothesized, recognized, rejected, and completed, I do all these things. So in this case, call this here. Okay, so we have, when you initialize it, we have all these things happening. So when the speech is recognized, we have speech recognized the event variables. That's again a, I think it's a sender and event thing. Of that, we can say completed is true or false. And we have a little state machine here, so private bool completed is false. Okay, so it's pretty much the same everywhere. So pretty much that. And that. And that, I think. Okay, so the only difference is this is speech detected. Okay, so we can just kill that off there. But now what we want to do is make maybe a local function or something. Maybe that's a bit better. We say private void when speech is detected, it's not completed. So in progress, we'll make one for in progress and one for completed. And we say if it's completed, then complete is true, and not, we say complete is false. Yeah. We could say, okay, if it's completed, give me the text. We can maybe write the text on the screen. So we can say completed and that's e.result.text. Probably can do it the shorthand way. And this is in progress. Like so. That's also completed. That's also, I think, completed. That's completed. Other thing. Oh gosh. SE is that. There we go. When speech is detected, speech is recognized, it's completed. When speech is detected, it's in progress. Maybe this should also be in progress. Hypnotized, what does that mean? Okay, so when it's what it thinks it is. Maybe do that in progress as well. Hypothesized. Okay, that's what we want. All right, so we have that. A little implementation, I would say. And what else do we have here? We have a recognized async cancel. Well, now we have a let's do that. Come on. Speech recognizer dot recognize async. Wait 30 seconds and then cancel asynchronous recognition. Okay, so let's do that. So stop, I'm not going to actually implement. So maybe this is something that we need to do in here. Like so. So this will most probably work, right? So this will compile. And now the cool thing is, instead of doing that, we want to be doing system speech recognition provider. And please, please, please work. It's already breaking. Object reference is not set as an instance of an object. Oh yeah, of course. Okay, cool. So that's that. Cannot perform this operation while the recognizer is doing recognition. Okay, so you're saying that should happen. And we say task.completed. No, this does not work. Hey. Date, something is working. Okay, so it's definitely doing something, so... Okay. So if I say JavaScript, nothing happens. Apple. Apple. Okay, so something else is busy getting not quite. I think I'm missing something here. So if it's... So I kind of need to keep this on. Okay, so let's see if this works. Apple, JavaScript. Okay, so it's not. $23. Okay, so maybe completed is the way to go here. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's giving some errors, but it's fine. JavaScript. And then a new version of Docker is available. Wow, can you believe it? Okay, so this thing runs locally. But if I say Apple, none of these things were Apple. Not cattle, Apple. Okay, so cool. Oh yeah, I have not. Okay, so I have not implemented it yet. I have. No, I have not. Okay, so this is what I have here. Okay, so completed. So this is what I have here, like that. What is this action? Let me see. Okay, so that's the initialize that we pass in here. Actually a bit all over the show here. Okay, so that's initialize. I'm actually reluctant just to move this in here, because effectively that's what it is, right? So it's the action text. So now it should say JavaScript. That works. Okay. That's cool. So I never say apple. Apple. Not tackle, apple. Apple. Hey, apple. Okay. Hello, hello. JavaScript. Okay, so that works. So it's quite. Hello, hello. Apple. Apple. You know, if you eat an apple, I want to eat an apple. There we go, that works. Okay. Okay, so this thing works. And it's amazing how it works, because I've just swapped around implementations and then it just basically works, which is quite cool. But now I'm still seeing a problem. On 23, this one. Maybe if I move this here. Okay, fine. So we say if not completed, or if it's completed, it will now never work. Testing. Oh, now it actually works, so it starts up. Okay, so that's cool. So we can do JavaScript. That works. And if we say, I want to eat an apple, I really want to eat an apple. I really want to eat an apple. Okay, cool. That works. Brilliant stuff. That's cool. So the idea is that I don't know if it will work, but it's fine. We can play around. So on startup, depending on what you pass in your configuration, right? So what do we have here? We have triggers. Where's our config? So if it does not have a mscog or whatever key, it must go for local. Will that work? So if we say if configuration dot get section mscog, maybe that's if it's null, then we can pretty much say that our service will be invoked using the system. But if you do choose cognitive services, that will happen. So let's test this. Okay, so it gets that, which is fine. So maybe I must just print this out on the screen. iLogger, is that a thing? iLogger startup. And then we say logger.log information Microsoft cognitive blah 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 has been system speech recognizer fine. Let's go. Recognizes that. System.speech. And that's system.cognitive services. When I run it, now it will use cognitive services, hopefully. So hopefully this will work better. Yeah, that's much better. It's not logging stuff. So now it's using Microsoft Cognitive Services. And the reason why now is because it's kind of laggy and delayed. And when I say JavaScript, that works. Okay, cool. And now let's test it out without. So going here, commenting that out. Oops. Saving it. Running it again. Should not break. Okay, it should break that because that's the validation that I need to take out. This is not needed anymore. Okay, so this is all the things that's now breaking. What is the right way of doing it? So check if configuration section exists. Okay. So configuration section, get children, any. Oops. Key. Oh, item. Okay, so it's I. I.key is that. Okay, so now I'll be this the other way around though. So these. This one goes here, and this one goes here. We'll do that. Okay, now we should be able to get system speech. And when I say JavaScript, hey, it's called JavaScript. JavaScript. So that works. And when I say let's eat an apple, let's eat an apple. I'm hungry for an apple. Apple. Okay. So the point is it works. So are we gonna test this out with a few other things? Maybe let's change this to Ruby. 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 More by. It's a Ruby. Hello. How does it get to 1 million? It's called Ruby. Ruby on Rails. Ruby on Rails. Will be on Rails. Ruby. Okay, so let's see. So this is not nearly as accurate as the other one. We can say JavaScript. That works. That will trigger that at least. And we say Ruby. I have no idea. So it's a bit wonky and it's a bit iffy, but hey, nevertheless, we have something built. Let's commit it. Added local speech detection support. So that assembly will go all the way to GitHub. I hope they don't get into trouble for that, but fine. That's how this cookie crumbles. So I'm not actually interested in to see .NET Tool. .NET Tool list. How is that even possible? So that's the previous version. Okay. So what we want now is to just as a refresher, let's go to .NET Global Tools. Create a global tool again. Blah blah blah. We have got all these things. What we want to do is .NET Pack. Yes. Okay, so first of all, I think a good practice is to maybe up this number to 11. And then go .NET Pack. Output to no cancel. Output to NuGet builds. Okay, so that will create what? That's not right. Git version. Okay, wait a minute. Let's try it again. That doesn't respect that version. Oops. Oh no. This has replaced a few things. Undo. Where do I? How the hell? This was a 2.1 app. Will it matter? Git version invisible task. What was that about? How do you give the Okay, so this should work, right? No, it's not even working. So for now, get it out because come on. Update version properties controls. Okay, update. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Also not. Why it's taking the wrong version, I have absolutely no idea. Keeps on using the same. Maybe I must just say version. that works. So if you say update that false, that works. Okay, great. So now we have a 1.1. So now if we go ahead and say, what was it again? .NET tool install. I think it's here somewhere. This one. Let me clear the screen a bit. And then we say .NET tool install global at source. And this is at NuGet. That's not a thing. NuGet builds. And this is called voice trigger. Voice trigger is already installed. Now let's uninstall it. Okay, so that's uninstalled. 1.0.3 is uninstalled. Let's reinstall 1.1. Voice trigger. Okay, that works, so that's cool. So we can immediately see when we say JavaScript, that can work. Okay, so that's cool. So even now, if I open up voice trigger here on stream, okay, that's definitely using system text. See there? Yeah, definitely now. JavaScript. That works. That's awesome. Now the reason why we don't see it, do we see it here? We hear it. Oh, it's here. JavaScript. Okay. So I need to find some way how to kind of reload JavaScript. That works. Apple. I want to eat an apple. Okay, so take that off. It's gonna kill now. So boom, done. So now let's go to. Okay, we can kill that. Let's say Microsoft. Okay, so let's try this again. Pressing the voice trigger app and Microsoft. It recognizes Microsoft, but nothing is happening. Microsoft. Oh, most probably because I know. Because this thing again. Refresh. Microsoft. That works. Okay, cool. So that's amazing. So we have a tool. So I'm calling out to Jeff Fritz. It's not 100% working, or it's 100% working though, definitely. But I'm calling out to Jeff Fritz saying, you wanted a voice trigger whenever you say JavaScript. In this case, Microsoft. This will happen. But then you said, well, it's cloud connected, blah, blah, blah. But now, if you don't specify cognitive services in your configuration, it will try to attempt to use, or it will use system.speech on your local machine. And this is all part of a global tool that you can install using, if I can find it, this command. .NET tool install global and then it will just work. So I think I need to kind of update NuGet manually. I think it's quickly have to sign in. There we go. Manage packages. There's voice trigger. So it's sitting on one. Hey, I've got 177 downloads. That's amazing. How can I update this now? I think I can actually just upload a package, right? Given that it's tested. Oh, not there. It's NuGet. I will do the whole CI/CD whenever. Okay, cool. So they preview. Oh. Submit. Okay, so that's been validated now. So whenever that works, we can we will be able to install it from NuGet, hopefully. So let's remove it. Uninstall. I think it's voice trigger. Okay. Is something not working perfectly fine? Voice trigger. Okay, something is the thing running? Maybe. Yeah, it's running. That's why. Okay, that's installed. So now we just wait a few seconds. It's still validating, and then you should be able to get an email, or I should be getting email soon. Okay, hopefully this will be fine. Fix validating. Come on. This normally works fine. Just quickly doing a test. Listed. Done. Okay, now when we say .NET tool install, we don't have to specify the local source. We can just maybe do that. Nothing will happen, right? But if I do that, it will download and install. That's funny. It's actually it's finding the previous version. It's not indexed yet. Okay. It's listed. There we go. Now it should be indexed. Let's try that again. Okay, so it's not finding it properly. So let's clear my cache. Which is voice trigger. It's not here even. Oh, maybe it's the wrong place. Can it be? Why doesn't it find it, man? Only finds 1.0.3. Maybe I can version it most probably. Is it dot 1.0.3? No, 1.0. Will that work? Could not be found. That's insane. It only gets 1 point. No, that's not really what I want. Because when I invoke this now, this will break. .net global tool NuGet folder. Okay, I can install a specific version. So let's do that. So version 1.1.0. Version 1.1.0. Can that work? I have to go like this. Okay. So it's unable to find. That's interesting. Found 3, but looks like it's not really finding it on NuGet yet, at least. But I can clearly see it on NuGet. There's voice trigger, latest version. You can actually copy this. This is actually much better. Should be able to copy this and execute it as is, and it does not work. Maybe it will take some time for the thing to work, because let's see, packages, it's definitely not in here. .net shared, not there. Host, it's not there. Maybe it's under NuGet or something. Nope. I'm gonna try one more time. Programfiles.net NuGet fallback folder. It's interesting because it should be there. Maybe it's just in caching thing still. Okay, so let's see. We are now sitting on there, I think. NuGet packages cache. Global tool. Let's see what they say. Yeah, that HTTP cache. So this can be 30 minutes of cache. Okay, that's still there. Okay, so this is the, okay, there we go. So this is, we can maybe remove this. Yep. Look, this will work now. Boom. Okay. Push trigger. Actually, just press the button. Boom. That'll work. And now cool, we have hands in the air. We can say JavaScript and hopefully that will work. Or we can say JavaScript. Not transcript, JavaScript. There we go, that works. Cool. Right, so that's awesome. So yeah, yet again, call out to Jeff Fritz. It is available right now on NuGet. Go get it. Going back to the actual things. Thank you folks that has joined me. I've been streaming for just over 3 hours, which is cool. Thank you very much for joining me and sitting with me figuring out these problems. I will be streaming again next week, hopefully a bit earlier in the morning to see how that goes. But any further ado, I'm going to bed now. You guys take care. Let me just quickly stop this music. You guys take care, and like always, thank you so much for watching, and do give me some comments down below. Follow me on Twitter at FarneyRenders, and obviously twitch.tv/FarneyRenders. And with that, little friends, I will greet you until next time. But wait, what we'll do is we'll share the screen again. I always forget to do this. Let's see which of our friends is on Twitch that we can raid with 2 viewers.
Hi there. This is what we
And I think our friend Robert Tables
I am an angel. You
is
are a
there. I
demon.
just
We
don't
have to
wanna
work together.
run these ads. So please guys, don't go. We're gonna be doing, oh, there's my viewers. Don't go.
All right. So hang on. There's gonna be a second. There's gonna be a second. There's gonna be a.
Okay, so I'm gonna raid.
J.R. Rogers, choose the one that you use the most.
Robert Tables.
Like the most. Like for your job or for like I don't know. The most.
Robert
Most.
Tables.
That's all I'm saying.
There we go. That
I'm fine with
one.
this. Actually, straw poll is.
I'm gonna start a raid with.
Actually, this was. I wish Twitch integrated this.
Hey, 2
Right?
viewers.
This is helpful.
Come on, guys. Are you ready?
All right. Well, we're gonna go
I'm
on
gonna
a
raid.
quick bio break, but I'm just gonna leave this up. I'm just gonna leave it up like this. I'm just gonna turn my
No.
audio off.
No.
And if some of you have people, oh, coming on in hot, Fanny Randers, come on in with 2 people. We're having a vote. We're having a vote for an important topic. I'm gonna talk about a topic, but I need some background. And there's gonna be a second vote after this. Yeah, there's looking at the numbers right now. There's gonna be a second vote after this to narrow this thing down, just to get that clippable. No, I'm kidding. All right, so I'm gonna be right back. Oh, thank you very much, Chris Jones, for sharing that. I should be better about that. So we're gonna take a quick bio break. Raiders, don't worry. Come in and stay with us. We're only gonna be gone for like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm gonna leave this up. Click on there. Join in the straw poll. Let us know. We've only got 14 votes, and I know we've got more people watching than that. So everybody, come on, get it. It's gonna be important. It's gonna be important. Okay. I have a point to make.
Well, good luck.
It's gonna be important.
Okay, with that, I am out of here, guys. Thank you so much. And it's time for me to go night-night.